Hello, hello. Hi, Julio. Hi, Julio. How's it, man? Uh, can you please turn on your camera and also allow Restream to access your audio as well? Julio, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm reloading. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hi, guys. If you're joining us, please just greet us, say hello, and also mention the country that you are streaming from. I see that Jesse Go is here with us. Greetings to you, man. Lovely to see you. I think it's the first time seeing you this year. I hope you're good. Yeah, how's the weather that side? Julio, can you turn on your camera?
Hello, can you hear me, guys?
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. Hey, man, how's it?
Right, it's going well.
Cool, 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 man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that you are quite busy, and yeah, man. Thanks for for making an effort, to come here. Yeah, it's really great. Yeah. So let me just greet some people. I'm seeing Emeka from Nigeria. Um, yeah, great to see you. And I'm also seeing Kenyeliwe from South Africa. Yeah, guys. So please, yeah, if you're joining us, just greet us and let us know which country you are from. Um, yeah. So let me actually just I'm gonna take a moment just to go to the stream and see who else is there. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. I mean, how's the new year going?
Right, it's going well. Very, very well indeed.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Even though,
Yeah. No, yeah.
I was saying,
It's fine.
like,
I'm
it's
listening.
going great. It's going great. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. 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 Yeah. Let me know if you are ready from your side. Yeah. We're gonna start. I'm just giving some people, a moment to join us, and yeah, let's see who else is online, and yeah, we'll begin shortly. And yeah, we want to make an announcement. We had a great time. Let me see. Oh, I see. Fortunate Mutseneng. Hi, hi, Fortunate. Yo, I haven't seen Fortunate. It's been a very, very long time. Yeah, it's been some good months, but yeah, it's great to see you, Fortunate. And yeah, I hope you're good. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Oluwadami Lola. Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, from Nigeria. Hi, Damilola. And yeah, I'm also seeing Kelvin Kibui, from Kenya. Yeah, guys, seeing like more people that are joining us. Yeah, God Ishimwe from Rwanda. So cool, guys. Yeah, I see more and more. And yeah, Papa Frimpong Nuama from Ghana. And yeah, it's great, guys, to see you. It's great to see more people, and yeah, so again, the format is easy. I want you to pop in your questions, and we'll respond to your questions as we go. And yeah, at any time. So share your comments. I don't know how you're feeling about 2023. We've had good sessions. We had a session with NetBank, towards the end of the year, and to talk about their design culture and their design of opportunities. We've had Rand Merchant Bank. I think it was last week, and we also going to have Healand, which is a global company. They have offices in South Africa, Australia, US, South America, India, etc. Yeah, so they've invited me to their office. So yeah, I'll be probably be working from there, and then we'll have a session with them. That should be on the 1st of Feb. I hope, because I know the guy was busy traveling. He was currently in India. He should be back in SA sometime this week. I hope that yeah, the plans won't change. So yeah, I mean, we'll be bringing like more big companies, and we'll bring a lot of like speakers. We've kicked off with the future of user experience. There was like our big session that we've had. A lot of people attending. I think people watched that like session. Probably over like 400, 500 people that watched. On that day. Yeah, I know people are busy. So yeah, guys, what I want to do is, before we kick off, we had a design session, last Friday. That was like really great. We're gonna be having more of these. We've had quite a few of them, and yeah. So again, the main aim is for us to have fun. To enjoy the space, and yeah. So we'll be having a lot of these, design competitions. It's a really fun way of engaging with designers, get to know them, and I think it's a more reliable way of being exposed to designers, because you don't just see designs that are being shared, because you can see people designing, solving problems, live, right? So yeah, again, I know we, based on the future of user experience, that was the session that we've had. We'll probably have a lot of the sessions to talk about, chat GPT, AI based solutions, because we couldn't, do justice to that conversation when we had that last week. So yeah, and yeah, yesterday, in the late 4 to 5, we had, the guys who are, designing, an African design and a game, which is a 3D, based console. And I think it's very important us as designers, to be more entrepreneurial in our approach, to think more about, solving, like real business problems, for us to think about, how can we make money for the companies that we work for. That's like really, like, great. And as I said, there's like a strong focus, in Africa. It's very important for us to understand, the issues that are banning us, and not just to talk about design, right? Socially inclusive solutions, low carbon, resource efficiency, has been the talk this week, right? And I think the big question is, how can we elevate the African agenda, right? So that we can drive, positive action that transforms our continent. And yeah, so out of these conversations, I want us to be able to solve, solutions. That's why I'm bringing, companies, all over Africa to actually talk about, the solutions that they are solving for. And yeah, so we've had the guys from Kenya, who are developing, an African game, and there should be more of these games, Shaka Zulu for the South African audience, and even like more of our heroes in the African context. And also, we're gonna be bringing in a journalist that is based in Cameroon, and she spends a lot of time, to talk about, to talk about the African continent, and to to interview the startups in the African space. And we've got, guys from Ghana that will be talking about, their startups, to share, their lessons learned, to share their progress, to share the challenges, so that as designers we can learn from those conversations, right? So yeah, you'll be seeing a lot of that, this year. And I want us to change the tone a bit, to be a bit more practical. And so yeah, I want to kick off, by sharing, the winner from our live design battle. So I want to, congratulate, the people that have entered. And just give me a moment here to share this from my side. Just give me. Okay, cool. Yeah, I hope you guys can see. Yeah, so we've had, a design warrior, Prudence, from Kenya. And yeah, we've also had, Gloria. Sorry, I made a mistake here. And then we've also had, Obasi. Yeah, so Obasi, Gloria, and Prudence, thanks a lot for entering. So yeah, we've had design warrior from uh, Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya. Yeah, so our winner is Prudence Mutoni. Congratulations. And yeah, thanks a lot to the guys who supported her. And yeah, I mean, we've had, like, great, competition. I think there's a lot of like strong solutions that came from, from the other two African countries. And yeah, so again, I know this is not the fair way, of judging. So we'll be, like, asking the judges to come and join us, to actually evaluate the solutions that designers come up with, so that, it's so that this doesn't become about, who's popular. So yeah, we will be changing that. So yeah, congratulations, Prudence Mutoni, and yeah, we'll reach out to you to arrange, your prize. And yeah, we have another one lined up for February. Please come and join. It's gonna be a fun event. We do the live design on Fridays, 7 to 8:30 to 9 in the evening. Cool. So yeah, today we've got, Julio Fred Mutakikwa. And yeah, I know I've chowed a bit of your time. But yeah, man, please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. Why are you here?
Okay, hello. So my name is Mudakikwa Fred, and I am a developer who is like currently residing here in Rwanda, and like kind of like a full stack developer. But my main focus above all is more on the front end. I do design, and also but like more like I'm always like how can I like make the sweetest design whereby like one can open a website and say wow, that website is great. So that is it, that is why I
Yeah,
am like this, always like chasing that wow factor. Yeah.
yeah, sure, man. Yeah, I love the way you put it. Yeah. So yeah, man. I want you to share your screen, so that we can kick off from your side. Yeah. So while you're busy firing up,
So can you
yeah.
guys see my screen?
Let's see. I see that you are sharing something. I can see the other screen here. Can you share your presentation?
All
Yeah.
right, all
So
right,
while
all
that is
right.
firing up, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, today, right, we're going to talk about WebGL, the future of interactive UI and UX. Yeah, so the conversation is going to be a bit technical, but it's very important, to understand, how these like technical changes, help us to, provide, an awesome experience. And, besides the conversation being technical, there were a lot of like, opportunities, right, to strengthen the conversation so that people can see, how WebGL, improves, the interactive UI elements, and overall how the user experience, gets involved, how it gets improved. So yeah, please, man, yeah, take it away. All is well. We can see you. We can see also your slides. Please,
All
guys,
right,
shoot, ask questions, we'll share them, and Julio will respond to your questions. Thanks.
all right, all right, all right. So thanks for giving me the stage. So today, like we are going to be talking about like WebGL and the WebGL and the future of interactive UI and UX. So for probably like most of you like might not know WebGL, but there is a huge probability that like you have been using WebGL all along. And even right now, like we are kind of using WebGL because like most of video streaming websites, they are kind of tapping into the power of WebGL to optimize like how video is being shared online. So today, like before like we can really dive very deep like into what is WebGL and how it is getting used, I would like first of all to kind of make like a formal like also introduction about me. So I am a full stack developer, and like even though I'm a full stack developer, I do, of course, I do the backend. I have been coding in the backend in different languages, but also I do the front end. And on the front end, I do both the design part and also the coding part. So as I told you, like whenever like I'm dealing with the front end, I'm always like trying to see like how can I be able to develop a sweet website? How can I be able to develop like a website that is dope and very interactive? And throughout all like that struggle, throughout like that goal of trying to develop a website that is interactive and that is having like some great user experience, like I was able like to get some different award for like different website that I built. For example, for the website that I did of my portfolio website. Yeah. So today we are going to first of all like begin with kind of giving some example before like we can even go like WebGL. I need to give you some example of like WebGL when it is working, because like I don't need to go into some very big technical terms without even some people seeing like an example of like a website that is using WebGL. So I think like I can start, for example, with my website. So if I go like to my portfolio website, so you can see like how the
Yeah, I think your machine there is struggling a bit.
website is.
Um, Hi, Julio.
For example, this interactivity, where like for example, if
Yeah, so guys, please let me know if you can hear me clearly. Just let me know by the comment section. And I think Julio is having trouble with his internet connection. Please let me know if you can hear me clearly. I hope that the problem is not from my side.
so right,
Um, Julio, can you please
back
say
to our
something?
our I feel like more. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I think when you were firing your website, your computer, was struggling. Um, okay, so please continue. Let's see. Um, I think I'm fine because I can see the feedback from Bumi that yeah, he can hear me clearly. Please continue. Let's see how it goes. Julia, please continue.
So, I kind of I think like for people who were not able like to see the website, I can share you the links and you can later see it like in person if there was like an issue with the connection. But like we need to understand like how was I able like to do all these graphics? How was I able like to create like some different interactive elements, like some new interactive elements on a website that kind of don't exist. For example, like an interaction of like rotating something which looks like a cylinder isn't like an interactivity you are going to see like in many websites, because like it is going to be kind of like an interaction that isn't built by default in the browser. Because like in the browser, like many of the time, like we see like some interaction. For example, we do have like interaction whereby whenever you click an element, like there is, for example, a pop-up, some basic animation and things like that. But when it comes to WebGL, we are able to tap into like some vast interaction, some new kind of interaction. So how does actually WebGL work? So for people like who love gaming, like, or whoever like who are
Yeah.
kind of into
Sorry.
gaming, we do know.
Yeah, Julio.
Yeah.
Let me share your website. So that people can see. I think my
Okay.
machine is running fine. Okay. I think it's important just for them to see what you're talking about, and
Okay, no problem.
yeah, yeah. So let me know um, if you can see. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So I'm just gonna, browse this website. This is cool, man. Yeah, I love it. This is nice. You can click play. Okay, let me not go there. And yeah, this is interactive, and as I go up and down, stuff happens, etc. And yeah, I don't know if there was something in particular that you wanted
Yeah, for
to
example,
show.
rotating this, being able to rotate one of those images like to the left. If you try to rotate it, if you drag it and you can rotate it.
Oh, oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. I can rotate this. Okay, okay. Let's see. Um, okay, yeah, it's a nice interaction. And let's see. Okay, I can scroll up and down, and then these ones here. Compare music. Okay, okay, cool. Sure, sure. Okay, cool. What else can I do here?
Yeah, also you can go to about like, for example, if you scroll up and you go to about, for example,
Okay,
yeah, yeah, for example, there's also like another interaction, things like that. Yeah,
okay,
yeah, I think that is it. Like, I think that is it. I think
okay.
my computer might had some issues when lining the
Oh
website,
no,
but what I was kind of trying to explain now was the fact that like with all this interaction that you are saying, it is very hard to replicate them like in a normal website. You do have to use
yeah.
like WebGL to be able like to learn these interactions. So
Okay,
so
it's fine.
like
Um,
I can continue my.
okay, it's fine. Okay, I'll stop sharing from my side, and then you can continue with
Okay,
the
okay.
slide.
Yeah, yeah. So like I was saying, like for all this interaction that we have already seen, like for example, the rotating of the cylinder, for example, whenever one goes to a board, there is kind of like the whole website, there is a background of things which is kind of liquid. All of this interaction that we are doing, they are not being, they are not videos, they are just real-time interactions that can be changed anytime, that can even respond to like some new data, things like that. So they are 100% like coded interactive experiences. So whenever like when we talk about WebGL, we can go like without talking about how WebGL works. Actually, WebGL, it isn't that different from OpenGL. So what it does, like in the nutshell, it is that like it is kind of an interface of being able to access the GPU from the browser. So for GPU is like a graphic processing unit, and it is the one which is responsible for making all the calculation. For example, for gaming, you need a GPU so that like you can be able to game. So the purpose of like the WebGL API, it is like it instructs the GPU on how, like for example, to render 3D graphics, how to render colors, how to render textures of like a 3D object. So it is kind of WebGL is kind of being able to leverage the power of gaming, but in the website, whereby like we can be able like to port some different like gaming interaction, but you can be able to run them on the browser, and they are cross-platform. They can be able to be run on like a Mac. They can be able to be run on a Windows, on an Android phone, without like having like a headache of saying, okay, I finished my experience, but how is it going to run on some other devices? So this
Yeah,
WebGL is kind of like a standardized way of rendering. So
sure.
I don't
Sorry,
need
man.
like to.
Yeah. Sorry, Julio. Yeah. So, guys, mutakikwa.com. That's the website. It's done by Julio Mutakikwa. Yeah. So you can just go there, play around with it. Try to scroll. Interact with it, and also that thingy. That wheel thingy that you saw. It's actually interactive. You can scroll across. It's quite cool. And but yeah, I think it's very important, like for us just to get a taste of what he's talking about, so that if you don't follow the conversation technically, but you can at least get a taste of the experience, from a design perspective. Sure, man. Thanks.
Okay, okay. So like then we need to take like some advantages of like WebGL. So WebGL has like some different advantages over like say like OpenGL and like some other rendering APIs. So when I say rendering API, I think of it like a kind of system which is able to process graphics on your computer, because every single thing that you are seeing on your computer is a graphic, from a text that you are seeing to like the tiniest pixel which is on your computer is like a graphic. So when I'm saying like WebGL and OpenGL, think of it is like that system. So the importance of like WebGL is that like it is very high performance. So with WebGL, we are able like to be able to make like some big interactive, because like it is able to handle some complex 3D data, like some complex 3D model, can be able to handle like some complex 3D animation, and even like some complex 3D particle animations. And another advantage of WebGL over like say gaming like APIs is that, for example, when we say like we have finished developing a game for, let us say like a game for Windows, to be able to port a game that you have developed for Windows to like a Mac, sometimes there is an issue when like you are moving between different platforms. But with WebGL, we do have like cross-browser compatibility, whereby like a code that you wrote in WebGL, you can be able to access it across different browsers. So another advantage, and the most advantage that I love about WebGL, it is like the ability to be able to create accessibility, like new accessibility, like accessibility that weren't seen before. For example, I'm giving an example, say on the website that I showed you, say like rotating the cylinder. So rotating the cylinder, you are not going to be able to see like many websites that are going to be like implementing that accessibility, because like that accessibility is kind of in a like an accessibility, or like it is going to be kind of an experience that you can see like in a game. You don't expect normally that experience to be seen in a website. So with WebGL, we are able to create like some new experiences that weren't seen before. So and then like there is the fact that like it's in interoperability, whereby like when with WebGL we can be able like to make WebGL. For example, if you have seen the website like in the background, kind of the whole background is kind of like WebGL interaction, but it is able to mix with HTML, with CSS, with JavaScript. So With that power of WebGL, you can be able like to mix all of them, mash them together, and create like an experience that like you really want. So another huge advantage of like of WebGL is that like it gives you like the great ability of to be able to access the GPU. So when we say accessing the GPU, think of it like being able like to talk directly to the machine and tell them like, you know what, if like you do have like this way of rendering things from my website, I don't need like that you are going to render things like this. I need that like you render the background to be going like this. I need that you render this part to be going like this. So with that power to be able like to interact with the GPU, with that power to be able like to talk with the GPU, there is a huge opportunity of able like to create like some personalized experiences. And the other thing is that like WebGL is cost effective. You just don't need like a game engine. You just don't need like a Unreal engine. You just don't need like Unity to be able like to create like a WebGL actually website. You need things that are open source. For example, say like there is an open source library for rendering WebGL called Free.js. You can be able to use Free.js and can create like some really great WebGL experiences. So this is for the advantages of WebGL. And please, like, if you have a question, let me know before like we do move from one section to another, so that like we you understand one section before we move to the next section.
Yeah, I mean, like this is impressive, man. I mean, I've been, seeing a lot of sites, that are using the WebGL capability, and like I'll probably share one because there is a particular one that I liked that I'll share. Hopefully in the next 10 minutes or so. I hope to remember the name. And
Okay.
yeah, so I think this will be a great conversation, for us as designers, right? How do we define these, like, cool components? How do we define these, like, interactive UI elements, right? And I mean, like, I've seen some like WebGL websites that are done, like, in a great way, and some where there's the storytelling in the UI, in the interactive UI elements doesn't smoothly come together, because you have to envision, that experience, be able to tell a clear story, right? And I've seen some where they do actually storytelling, through a website, where they take you to a particular story, to tell you from the beginning, until the end, and then there'll be like alternative paths, right? Throughout the experience, and yeah, which is, I mean, like, it's a great thing because a lot of these, like, WebGL based, websites, they tend to have more engagement, and the page depth, is usually a lot better, because people are curious to know, how this thing, how this thing will flow as I, scroll up and down, interact with the different elements, because it does, like, encourage, interactivity. And as a result of that, while you're busy trying to check out, like, the coolness of the website, you directly get to interact with it, but yeah, I'm quite keen, to hear, comments, like, from other people. And I'm sure a lot of you guys, have come across a lot of these websites. You might not necessarily be aware of the technology that is being used. I know, back then we used to, like, install plugins, online, and before, like, Mozilla took the project, and tried to standardize, the WebGL capability. And also, I mean, it's been great, especially those who come from a, gaming background, right? Like, now, I mean, we had guys yesterday to talk about, how they, I mean, sorry, the technology that they use, right, to design games. And it's a long process. But anyways, let me shut up a bit, I'm quite keen to also hear from you guys, share your thoughts, and yeah, I'll be happy to share them as we go. Hi, 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 Gloria. Yeah. Julio, can you go back to your slides? Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of
So
sharp. Awesome.
let me know like when I can continue. Yeah.
Sure. No, 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 no,
Can
no,
I
no. Please.
continue the presentation? Or okay.
Yeah, you can continue. All I'm seeing here, people are saying, this is amazing. Obasi Emeka, and also saw a comment, from Bahati Remy, impressive. Also a comment from Sharon Chepko Edge. This website is just wow, mind blowing, etc. So yeah, man, we'll definitely invite you, to help us, to implement, some of the ideas that we have on our, experience design website. I think this would be, a great opportunity, to engage with you and see what other cool stuff, you can do.
Okay.
Sure, yeah. Gloria, do you have any comments, questions from your side? Okay, cool. Please, Julia, continue.
So yeah, okay, thanks. Okay. So like I think like you were talking also like about like the WebGL process, but I think I can talk it like after the presentation. So I was also trying to give like some example of like some WebGL use cases. So WebGL, like the beauty of it is that like it can be used like in any medium that you can think of, like from e-commerce to gaming to data visualization, too many things. But for example, let me take like an example of e-commerce. So my experience like with using WebGL like in e-commerce here, like I was I think that like I was able to be part of a team that was designing like a virtual try-on experience for clothes, whereby like a user could be able like to go stand like in an A shape, in a T shape, and take a video of himself, and then submit that video like to a website, and then like the website returned like him an avatar which represented him, kind of like in your real avatar, being able like to wear the clothes that you need to buy. It was like an experience that I worked on, and it was able to be powered like with WebGL. And the good thing was with WebGL, a user would be able to say, okay, now I need to see like how this dress is fitting me. How like is this dress the best one that I really need before even like a one can think about like buying that cloth. Because let me tell you like the like my honest opinion when it comes to e-commerce, it is like whenever I think like I need to go to buy like a clothes, I say, geez, they are going to bring like a very, very big clothes whereby I'm not going to fit into it. So with that, like with e-commerce, we can be able to use WebGL like to power these experiences whereby like a user can be able to view like the garment before he can purchase it. So for gaming, like it is typical, like there are some WebGL games out there that are being developed that are entirely powered with WebGL, whereby people can meet online, play together, and be able like to power the whole like online gaming community online on the website without like a need of installing like a like installing the game on his or her device. So another thing is data visualization. I think like for you guys, if like there's one who uses GitHub, for example, if you go for example and on GitHub, let me just I think like probably if I go here, it is going to go in my main page of GitHub. I'm going to go, but I'm going to share like some other websites or for this one of data visualization. And also there is architecture visualization. Like for architecture visualization, like there are many things that we can do with like WebGL. We can be able like to build like for example 3D models of a structure and the user can be able to see like how those 3D models look of that structure before like say like he one can say okay I need to begin building his house, but he can be able before he even begin building his house he can be able like to see like the inside of his house, the design that he can put, the interior design that he can make, and things like that. And also, one of the great things of WebGL it is its use in virtual and augmented reality. Because with WebGL now, because you are actually accessing the GPU, you can be able to power as many like interactive experiences as you want. For example, we do have, for example, like augmented reality, which is being used in the web, like they are like many different examples of the use of augmented reality like in the websites. For example, there is this thing called Google Model Viewer, whereby like one can be able to import like a 3D model in the browser, and they can be able like to view the whole 3D model in AR environment. And the other thing is for the advertisement, like many websites that I do know that were built in WebGL, they were built for advertisement actually, more than the other sections that I have said. Because like one of the most important part when it comes to like advertisement, it is tapping into users' emotion. So one of the things that can really catch user emotion is like interactive experiences. So many websites are
Yeah,
actually being built.
sorry, Julia. Yeah,
Okay.
it would be great, man, if you can just show some examples.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, I'm going to show them like in the next slide here.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, no,
these
no,
are
no, no. That's fine. Then that's fine. It's fine. You don't need to rush as long that yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Because I've seen quite a lot of them, and I just want to make sure that the people who are joining us, can follow the conversation.
yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I've also guys.
I
Yeah, I've shared also in one of the. I said I'm gonna share. I remembered the website is Lucky Bed. Please check it out. Yeah, I think it's like one of the cool websites. Nothing hectic, but I feel they've executed, their
Lucky Bed
story. Yes, like
is this
Lucky
one.
um, it's Lucky Beard.
Lucky B E. Can you share it like on the chat? I think it could be much easier. I think if I can just.
Yeah. Okay, I've shared it via the chat.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's fine. You can let that to load. Um,
This this is
yeah, I think it's fine. Continue with the examples that you've prepared. You can go. I can come back to this one.
yeah, yeah, very good. So let me show some example. So I think like I'm going to first of all like begin like with Echo Gemini, which was made by this company called Illusion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Just fire it, and then once it's done loading, okay, cool. I see Lucky Bed is up. So
So
there's a
this one of
question
me,
here from
I think you can see my.
yeah, it's still loading. I'm happy for you to take this question. Am I correct to say people hardly build this kind of site because of possible low internet strength from visitors?
Okay, I think like these are light, they are not very big. For example, this.
Okay. Can you share the website name on in the chat, and then I will share it with the audience so that they can try it out.
Website in the chat.
Yeah, yeah. So I think this is probably going to be a common concern, yeah, for people. But I mean, look again. It's
So
important to consider who you're designing for,
so
and yeah, yeah.
so yeah. Also, like if I can answer this question for Ashraf, like he's saying like it is hard to build this kind of website because possible internet streams from visitors. Actually, like if you think about it, it depends on the way you are building it. Because you have the flexibility of factory of WebGL, you do have like how much data a user needs to download to be able to run the website. That is the only challenge that you need to be thinking about. So there is a way whereby like you can actually decrease like the amount of data that like a user is going to need to learn this website to less than one megabyte. Because like to be honest, like when I started building this website of mine, like I started with about 50 megabyte of things that like a user had to download to be able to run the website, and then I kind of optimized all those things, and I tried to put them like below 15 megabyte. So when there is something of 15 megabyte, there is kind of this safe region whereby you can rely and say, okay, this thing is going to be able to be run by some people, and it is possible that like at least many people are going to be able to use it. Yeah.
Sure, 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 sure. No, thanks. Yeah, I think your response is good. Yeah, because I think, guys, there's the question is, yes, I understand where the question is coming from, and I think there's an opportunity for us to make the experience to be more interactive. It doesn't have to be as this rich, right? We can be a bit more intentional about choosing, you know, which parts of the experience, sorry, which parts of the UI elements will elevate the experience so that you can sacrifice, like other things, and if that so beyond just having a wow experience, right, you need to be very intentional about what uh, what is the technical capability that GL will bring to your customers that will add value, right? More than just having a wow experience. It's easy to have things, that flashy, things that seem to be interactive, etc. But if a designer, you have a strong focus on giving value, then you should be able to try to eliminate, so that you can make the website to be as light as possible, right? It's a similar conversation when you're building a mobile app. You don't want like, a 200 meg or 500 meg, app, right? You want to make it as light as possible. Yes, we are getting more space, over time, and the experience is getting richer, right? and the threshold will increase over time, slowly. And also, as the internet, speed increases, yeah. And I guess it's also very important to consider your audience, right? So that, from an accessibility perspective, you understand, what kind of devices they're using, because there's a combination of the device and also the speed of the internet, etc. So thanks, Ben. Yeah, thanks for
Okay.
your question, Ashraf. Yeah.
So I think like for the other website, I think like we can go into a few of them. I can share you this one called Motre Cloud. And for the others, I'm going to just add all the others here, and I think you.
Yeah, it's fine. I think you can just copy those links and then share them via LinkedIn, and then people can just try them out. Yeah. Please, Gloria, can you just copy and paste those links? Paste them via the LinkedIn event. Thanks. Cool, guys. Yeah. Any questions? Please keep them coming. Um, yeah, there's more to this stuff, and I just hope that you will take a bit of time to research, and expose yourself. And I'm sure in next time you design, your UI elements, especially for web, if you're focusing on web design, you'll definitely be influenced by this capability.
So that is it. And I think then if you have seen these links, I feel like I can close like the this one by just about how it is going to be used like in the next decade come. So I do think like one of the first thing that is coming up like in about like WebG, it is easy to be able to be used like in WebXL. Like when you think about like WebXL, things think as it like all possible experiences that are possible to be used outside of the internet, but to be able to be both like in the internet, say AR, say VR, all these experiences, so that like one can be able to see them like in the internet. Yeah. So for example, like I remember when like I had like a workshop like in Nigeria, whereby like I was teaching people like how to use WebAR, and then we did like a small experience of using WebAR, whereby like one can be able to preview things that are in a supermarket before you can even buy them, and it was like a double experience, being able to see something in
Yeah.
front of you, like in front of like yourself in the phone with AR. It
Sorry,
is kind of
Julio.
like a
Can you please put your PowerPoint in presentation mode?
Yeah, yeah. So I was saying the with WebExcel are like being able to see like AR experiences out of the box from the internet without the need of downloading another app from the App Store. It is kind of like a very great experience. And another thing that we are going to be seeing is like the improvement of graphic capabilities. I think like you have seen, for example, when like I ran my website, my computer was kind of going slow because like for now WebGL there is still some work that needs to be done to optimize it. So this like there is some faults of introducing things like some web GPU, whereby with web GPU we can like improve the performance of WebGL like 10 times, because when things are running in on the GPU, when they are running with proper code on the GPU, they do run very fast. And also, we are going to see like an increased adoption of WebGL. For example, there is a website which called like it is like website that generates avatar, And one of the things that we are seeing there, like it is trying to be able to generate avatar for the metaverse. And let us say also like the one of the concept that was very trending in 2022, like the concept of the metaverse. There is already like an increase in adoption of to be able to, of being able to use like WebGL in daily user experiences. So also they will also need to be like an increase like in how people can be able to access the WebGL contents. And the other things like some computing things like how also for example like I had one once like I think it was in September last year I had like a meetup, and Google was trying to say how it is going to port all of its features of calculating, of optimizing the video, of adding some video filters. It is just going to port them from its backend and bring them to the front end. So with all that capability, they just need to tap into WebGL to be able to bring some more experiences at a lower cost. So I think that is it, and that was kind of for the future of WebGL in a nutshell. And like, if you have like any question, really love to answer it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sure, sure. Thanks, man. Thanks, Julio. Yeah. So yeah, Gloria has pasted the websites. You can also, check out, like other websites. There's let me see. Yeah, Get Ishimwe also has posted here. If you go to 3.js website, and he also posted 3js.org. Yeah, I will also happily try out those links. Um, yeah, there's a question here from Opasi Emeka. Can all these be created from Figma?
So like when it comes to WebGL experiences, like the design itself is created on Figma, but there are some other elements that like you can need, and they are going to be created like in Blender. Yeah. So we there is kind of combination of software. Let us say like from a website, the poll was made in Blender, like because the poll is kind of like a 3D model, it was made in Blender. So I did it and I did some small rendering in Blender, and then I had to visualize how it had to look on the final design. I wasn't using Figma, I was using Adobe XD on the top of all those things, and then I designed the whole interface at the top of the range from Brenda. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, man. Sure, 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 sure. Thanks. Yeah, yeah. I think um, yeah, as Figma grows, we'll probably have like more flexibility, right? And I think it's also important to find effective ways to communicate the experience with the developer, And yes, it should be great if you can try to mimic the experience as much as possible, so that you can effectively communicate how the interaction should flow. Once the developer develops the solution. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that in the meantime, definitely there's going to be like a number of tools that we can use depending on how the experience plays out, right? And in some cases, you might need to design a video content, a very like an interactive video content using tool X, and then because you want to embed that experience on a website, then you might like use Figma, and maybe you might even want to have audio, right? And yeah, you probably juggle in between a number of platforms. Obviously, I mean, I'm expecting quite a lot, from Figma. Since I'm hoping that they will integrate a lot of like rich, capabilities that Adobe offers in their suite. Yeah. Any questions, guys? Yeah, we're gonna close now. So yeah, if there's any questions, please shoot. And yeah, thanks for the questions that you guys have shared. And yeah, I think this is a great like session for us, to reflect on, as we plan, for 2023. the year, has begun, and it's still early days. I think there's still, a room for improvement, and also a room for us to factor in, whatever experience we imagine to deliver, to our customers this year. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm going to challenge, even the designers in our team, to, spend a bit of time to, to research a bit about WebGL, and to see, what rich experiences, can we provide to our customers. And sometimes it's a great experience, to move from like static experiences on our website, to more like engaging and interactive, websites. And the big move for me, it's really more about the metaverse, because once you tap into the space, it prepares you, to design for a much like richer experience, right? We do have a topic, planned to talk about, how to design for Web3, and yeah, so that is like, a step into the, metaverse, a direction. Man, I want to say thanks a lot from you, Julio. And I don't know if there's
Okay.
anything that you want to share before we close.
Mm, like for me, like this, I really appreciate this moment, like my experiences with WebGL. And if like you really like love it and need to go into it, I'm really happy to help you.
Sure, sure, sure. No, thanks, man. Yeah, definitely. I will reach out to you, and I think it will be great, to do some stuff on the experience design website. We're planning to put some content there, and I think it will be great, to get, your technical, expertise. And also, we've got like an experienced leadership. There are some people like, Gloria, Sharon, and others. I'm quite keen to see the kind of ideas that they come up with, and I think it will be great, opportunity, for you to play and have fun. So cool, guys. Let me say
Okay.
goodbye. And yeah, it's been great. And I want to say thanks, to Gloria, to Obas Emeka, and also to Prudence Mutoni, for participating in our live design battle. Yeah, we're gonna have another one, and again, we're gonna change things up a bit. We're gonna invite a judge that's gonna judge, the quality of the output. It's a very simple exercise. It's fun. We give designers, a solution, live. They design live. We watch them while we're having drinks, snacks, beer, wine, etc. And in the end, of that like 1.5 hour, they stop, and we ask people, to share their opinions. And this time, we'll probably mix things up a bit between asking people to vote, and also, getting a judge, to judge, the quality of the designs. Anyways, thanks, guys, and yeah, I hope you're enjoying. January. It's coming to an end. As I said, we've got these sessions lined up. Until May. We are planning to have a big, African design, conference. We will share the details with you. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Okay. Cheers.